What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Honest Game Perspectives, the show where we play games, talk about what's good, talk about what's bad, and see if it's worth your money, or more importantly, worth your time. And today, I played the demo of a upcoming game that I've been sort of excited about, called Hell Is Us, which on paper, or at least what I thought going into this demo, was that it was going to be like a psychological horror thriller, sort of a mix of Alan Wake 2 or the Resident Evil remakes. And what I got was something a little bit different than that. So let's talk a little bit about it. The demo runs about an hour, and I'll be honest, it took me nearly half that time for me to fully feel engaged. That's not ideal for demos, especially. But once it clicked, it showed me that it does have potential. It just took some time to get in there. What really stood out to me the most were the puzzles. In fact, this is one of the only things I've thought about since I stopped the demo. The puzzles, they felt smart, well placed, and rewarding. It's just a short demo, but I solved three puzzles, and I'm pretty sure there were more. If you continued exploring and going around the area you're allowed to in the demo, I'm sure you would have found some more puzzles. But that kind of reminded me of Resident Evil, where they were kind of thoughtful and you had to put some thought and effort into it. But if you were able to do that, you could solve them relatively easy. Some of them involved shapes, some of them involved reading, some of them involved a little bit of both. But overall, they were really enjoyable, and I had a lot of fun with them. The voice acting was also pretty solid. Everyone delivered their lines with weight and clarity. But here's the thing, in 2025, good voice acting is just to be expected at this point. It's like saying a game's graphics work. It should be. It's sort of the standard of games and the standard of expectation. So I don't know how long the praise for good voice acting is going to be like a good compliment for a game, where I think it's just sort of to be expected. Now, the biggest surprise of the demo to me was how the game felt with the movement. I really thought this was going to be, as I mentioned, like an Alan Wake or a Resident Evil, where the cameras kind of zoomed in closely for third person, maybe a little bit too close, but your character has weight with their movement. It feels very tight and everything seems kind of compact to the screen. Instead, it really felt more like Assassin's Creed or a big open world RPG vibe. Like it didn't really feel as tight as I wanted to. And that sort of worries me because that's not really what you want for this style of game, from my opinion. And it's definitely not what I was expected, especially based off of like the darker psychological marketing that they were going with. It's not something that is really going to make or break the game, I think, for everybody. It just was something I really threw me off guard because I wasn't expecting it. The combat system felt decent. It was smooth and responsive, but I'm not really convinced it's going to hold up across a full length game. There wasn't much variety in the demo, so I'm hoping the final release dives a little bit deeper into that side of things. But one thing that did catch my eye was the investigation system in this game. It didn't dive much into it in the demo. I mean, you only got to see what it is and what it could probably be, and that looks like it's going to be a detailed sort of family tree or spider web of NPCs you're dealing with throughout the game, and you have to unlock different things from other areas to create other dialogue. You have to learn more information to create more dialogue. You have to discover things, and I think that's pretty cool. You don't really see that often in horror games, but it is something that I think is it could be cool when the game is fully released. The demo of Hell Is Us was not what I expected it to be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. In a world where a lot of developers and smaller developers and studios are sort of just copying what the successful brands are doing, it's kind of interesting to see a game try to create a hybrid of a couple of different game genres. But I don't know if it'll be successful in the mainstream because of it. If it continues to push those puzzle mechanics and builds out its investigation system, it's going to end up being a pretty good game. And I'm pretty excited to play it, a little less than I was, but I'm excited to see what this game is. And I'm excited to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. Let's keep the conversation going. Did you play the demo? Did you enjoy the demo? Did you like the demo? If you want to see my full playthrough of Hell Is Us, it's up right now on our other channel where we play lots of other games and we do let's plays, walkthroughs, and just to have a good time playing games I'm enjoying. That's Honest Games Plays, and the link will be down in the description below.